Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for being with us this evening. We have an amazing show for you. This evening, we have Rebecca Stark-Johnson from the Hattiesburg Arts Council, Randy Swan from Fox 23, his better half, Millie Swan from Forest General, and we have a couple of sets from one of Mississippi's most incredible guitarists, Barry Leach. You're not going to want to miss anything we have tonight. But first, let's all smile with my friend, the incredibly talented David Walker.
Smile, though your heart is aching. Smile, even though it's breaking. When there are clouds in the sky, you'll get by. If you smile through your fear and sorrow, smile and maybe tomorrow you'll see the sun come shining through for you. Light up your face with gladness, hide every trace of sadness. Although a tear may be ever so near, that's the time you must keep on trying. Smile, what's the use of crying? You'll find that life is still worthwhile if you just smile. Light up your face with gladness, hide every trace of sadness. Although a tear may be ever so near, that's the time you must keep on trying. Smile, what's the use of crying? You'll find that life is still worthwhile if you just smile.
And people stayed home and read books and listened and they rested and did exercises and made art and played and learned new ways of being, and stopped and listened more deeply. Someone meditated, Someone prayed. Someone met their shadow, and people began to think differently, and people healed. And in the absence of people who lived in ignorant ways, dangerous, meaningless, and heartless, the earth also began to heal. And when the danger ended and people found themselves, they grieved for the dead and made new choices and dreamed of new visions and created new ways of living and completely healed the earth, just as they were healed.
Smile is one of my favorite songs. I'm so glad that David did that. It's just amazing. And we're getting so much great buzz on the commercial that you just saw, narrated by Lynn Beach Smith, with lots of photos here of Hattiesburg by a local photographer and works with us, Brett Barnes. I hope you're sharing that button. So right now, everybody take a project. Use your finger. Find your share button wherever that is. On phones, it's usually at the bottom. Sometimes it's right below on the side there. Click that share button and share this video and this stream with you. If you're just joining us, or if you are joining us at a recorded version of this sometime in the future, we're broadcasting every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday night at 7:30 through the month of June, and Mondays at noon. We are bringing you some of the great artists and the great arts of Hattiesburg, the people who were scheduled to perform in FestivalSouth 2020, which, as you know, we've postponed until next year. We don't want to say canceled because everybody was gracious enough to send us something to use, and tonight you're going to get to see some of those amazing arts. And coming up, we have Randy and Millie Swan, Barry Leach, but right now we have Rebecca Stark Johnson from the Hattiesburg Arts Council. Rebecca, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you, Mike, for having me on. I appreciate it.
Rebecca and I go back a long way. I don't know if she even remembers this, but I have known her since she came to Hattiesburg. We were both at Southern Miss. I was just telling my guys during the break that she is a fabulous cellist, and her husband is my doctor, and so we kind of keep it all in the family there. But I was actually at their wedding with some friends of mine that were helping decorate that. So I've known you for quite a while. I told Ron I knew him since the Paleozoic, but I think it's just been a few years for us because we don't age like those other kids.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
So, Rebecca, Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Tell us all about the Hattiesburg Arts Council. I brought up today that so many people, we are the HCA, the Hattiesburg Concert Association, which is FestivalSouth Meister Singers, but the Hattiesburg Arts Council is sort of the large umbrella for the whole city and even the area at this point. I think everything you're doing, especially now with the online projects I see, are taking you way beyond our borders like we are now too. Tell us about the Hattiesburg Arts Council.
Well, we're a community-based organization, and our goal is to make the arts and the artists accessible to all people. We try to be year-round, so we have activities going on all the time. We have programs that we do in the schools. We have programs that we do with people with drug rehab, as well as all our exhibits and outdoor brown bag concerts and all. But we really, for me, my role as the director is to just try to match the artists with the community and together, so that it's just a creative, finding your creative niche, I guess. I think a lot of people, whether they're in professional musicians or artists, they need a place where they can share their art. So we have amateur photo competitions, things like that. So it's good. It's a lot of fun.
So I've been asking everybody this question, and we actually got to talk a little bit earlier today, which I actually got to see someone face to face, like outside of my house here, which was a wonderful thing. What has quarantine life been like for you? Just you personally, or you and the organization as well?
Okay, well, both. stepping away from our spring events that we had to postpone and some we had to cancel. That was difficult, and it was a big loss for us, as well as I know it is for Festival South. But I think from an artist standpoint, I'm really watching the artists struggle and seeing how difficult it is for everyone who can't have a platform or a place to perform. But I think the hardest part about this COVID is that artists, we're known for thinking outside of the box, and now we're all having to try to figure out how to put it back in the box in this little computer, and that's not really where it's supposed to be. Especially it's the interaction between the artist, that relationship with the audience, and that's where the magic happens. And not meaning that we can't have that magic here on a computer, but it's a little bit it's difficult. We have to really come up with new things. But I've been very happy that we have a collaboration with the City of Hattiesburg, with Parks and Recreation, and with Smart Space to be able to give our programs, our outreach programs, to the kids, and especially to the parents who have their children at home and are looking for opportunities Monday, Wednesday, Friday for 9:30 to 1. It's like a little summer camp, online, virtual. And it's been a lot of fun to see how much activity happens with that. I really didn't know there would be so many people stepping in and watching. And so that's been really good. Personally, I really feel kind of guilty to say that I've enjoyed the time, the solace of just having this time to reflect and not be interrupted. And I didn't realize how many events and things happen in the evenings, and just time that I'm exhausted and don't do my own art. So this gave me an opportunity to not only work from home, but be able to interrupt it with a little painting or music, and pull out old projects. I have a lot of projects that are unfinished, and that's been so much fun. Quilting, I'm publishing some cello ensemble arrangements. I'm even learning how to play the piano. I'm learning these little Bartok pieces, and which is real fun. I'm even trying to make myself memorize them, because my husband does crossword puzzles, and I know that's supposed to help your brain. And they say, well, either learn a language, do puzzles, Sudoku or whatever it is. But mine is learning how to play the piano. So that's been fun. It's been a lot of fun. And just being outdoors, enjoying this little piece of heaven that we have over here. That's been good.
Was it not a glorious day today, too? It was so nice.
It really, really was.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed, I think there's more birds, and I don't know, I'm noticing nature more than I ever have.
I have a friend who's
appreciating it.
experiencing this part of the year in Hattiesburg sort of for the first time. And I was telling him, I said, you just don't understand. We usually get sort of a beautiful little snap and then Easter cold, and suddenly it's just hot. And I said, and we've only had a little bit of taste of hot, and knock on wood, that's where we're going to stay for a little bit. That it just, these glorious temperatures, I mean, it's been great. But I've been doing sort of the same thing. Is like I actually have a piano music book out and trying to pretend I play piano again every so often. And I have cleaned and decorated and reorganized things. My kitchen's in the best shape it's been in a long time. I've cooked, and I'm actually reading things. And that just doesn't happen. I'm always in a rehearsal somewhere, always. And I tell you so many times, I'm generally sending apologies to people like, I really wish I could have been there. I was in rehearsal. I really wish I could have been there. I was in rehearsal all the time. But so I'm enjoying sort of the difference, but I will tell you, I can't wait. Right before we went on air, we were talking about just seeing people and being around people. It's such a huge thing, and really looking forward to that. For myself, what else are you looking forward to when we kind of are able to say, okay, let's all go and do this safely?
Well, first and foremost, I really can't wait to see my children. One is in New York City and the other's in Rhode Island, and they just seem way too far away. And so I'm really looking forward to one day getting together with them. And I miss seeing friends and patrons. people hugging, just connecting, all of that. What I'm looking forward to, the Hattiesburg Arts Council is having our 50th anniversary in September is when it begins. We kick it off. And so we have some really wonderful programs that we're looking forward to sharing with everyone. So I is good because right now we're kicking it up. We're getting our brochures ready and our fundraisers and all of that keeps us active. And we've got some really fun stuff. I think we're going to be able to manage it with even with the distancing. I'm hoping, but we're going to do it no matter what, right?
We're going to do our best. We're trying here with this, and I said I'm not sure if there's a few people watching, but we're getting really good views after the fact. And again, I ask people to, if you're just tuning in, this is Rebecca Stark Johnson from the Hattiesburg Arts Council, and we are here with FestivalSouth Reimagined every Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday night, 7:30 through June, Mondays at noon, with some things to get up and get you moving. And it's really for all ages. We're showcasing all sorts of things. But it just reminds you that, and Rebecca and I have been here roughly the same length of time. The art, and you've gotten really involved with the arts, obviously with the Arts Council, myself, through USM, through FestivalSouth, the Hub City Players, the things that I do. And this is just sort of an amazing community for that. You get to travel, you've been other places, and it's really unusual what we have here. And how are the arts going to be sort of an important part of bringing us back together and part of this recovery? What is your take on that?
I actually feel really positive about it. I think, well, first of all, COVID or not, artists, nothing stops an artist from being an artist. We continue what we do. That's just how we are. I think sometimes we're used to isolation a little bit more because it takes that to really build on your skills. So this is actually not a bad time for writers or other people to be able to advance their skills. But and I don't know if you saw that Facebook post that said, if you think artists are unimportant, try to spend your quarantine without music, books, movies, paintings, radio. And I think that's what people are going to come away from with this. And I really do believe that people are going to appreciate the arts now more than ever. I think they're craving it. I think they really want to go to a good movie. I think they want to go out to listen to bands and to dance and to watch performances, see art. My favorite Joni Mitchell song is like don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you got till it's gone. And I think now that it's been away. In fact, there was one point where they said, we're going to show that the arts are black. Let's go black. Well, that's unfortunately like boom, it went black. And I don't know. I don't think that's the way to go. But this is definitely. I think people are going to really want to support all of us. They really are, don't you think?
I hope so. I really think they are too. I know as much as like I said, I'm craving to be around people. I miss my regular concert folks that I get to see and do things in my team of people that we work with behind the scenes, and actors and singers and dancers and all the stuff. I really miss those people. And so I really challenge all of you watching tonight, when it's safe to go again, whether that's with a mask or at 6 feet distance or whatever we have to do to make this happen, please go. Your artists need you. Your artist community needs you desperately, because even though lots of things are opening up, lots of show type things and performance and gathering type things are still a little iffy. And do it safely, but we would love to have you there. Rebecca, thank you so much for being with us tonight. We really appreciate everything the Arts Council does for this town, and glad that I can call you my friend and that we get to work together and do some fun things here.
Thank you, Mike. I appreciate being on. Thank you.
Everybody
Good
else,
luck with everything.
Thank you so much. Everybody else, hang on. We'll have Randy and Millie Swan up in just a minute, and we're getting ready to hear some music from Barry Leach. Enjoy. See you in a minute.
I'm Kelsey Wishick. I'm a Mississippi native from the Gulf Coast. Well, Well, I was excited to be asked to participate in FestivalSouth, and of course the first thing that I was thinking about with how to connect with the concept was my experience with Hattiesburg. I've spent a lot of time on the Leaf River in the woods, playing music myself, and I always kind of have this like myth that I tell myself about this man in the river who's perpetually playing music for all of time. And I've done several paintings and drawings of this river myth man, and kind of showed up again in this work. I thought it would be interesting to give him a kind of unique instrument. So he's playing the banjo-lele, a little small banjo-ukulele mix. And I kind of worked with the idea of the appearance of kinky boots in the festival to just give him these vibrant boots to ground him into the river. So he's very much a part of nature and participating in the landscape. And that's kind of how I spent my time here in Hattiesburg, always outside, enjoying the beauty that is offered here. So the color in this painting, it actually came in response to an actual sunrise that I experienced as I was starting to conceive this idea. I was really struck by this kind of lemon yellow that happened one morning. I don't think I've ever seen that color before in real life until that day. And it became this kind of surreal experience that I was having, and that I wanted maybe the viewer to be able to touch into. So it's just this really vibrant springtime, early springtime colors, and kind of just pushing that surreal moment of being integrated with everything. So like there's this swooping, like he's kind of swooping into the trees are becoming into the atmosphere, so everything is connected in a way. And I wanted to play with that with the colors too. So even his jeans, his shirt, it becomes kind of atmospheric, or like the river, like the landscape. So trying to push that connection. I'm always thinking about the nature of water and the fluidity of water and the contrasting nature of the different elements. But I feel always quite drawn to water and that kind of ability for it to reflect our stories and our moments. And I always think of water when I'm in Hattiesburg for some reason because of the rivers. When I think of creativity in relationship to the pandemic, my experience has been to, take an initial pause and assess what is most important to me as a creator, not to just create compulsively. So it's been actually a really beautiful time to step back and reintegrate into the vision process of creativity. So obviously, sometimes it just comes and it flows, and other times it really starts with how I feel like creativity starts with how we see life and how an artist sees life. So I've been really cultivating that direct contact with the places that I'm in, the kind of empathy that I feel for the situation, and allowing it to slow down a little bit. So, yeah, I always think of creativity as a kind of technology of what we can create with what we have. So in that way, I also think this time has really brought us back to what is essential. It's not always about maybe the product or the object or the show, but also that kind of fulfillment and relationship with the medium directly. We're kind of coming from this time, the past few years have been really hard with all the challenges we're facing with minorities, Me Too movement, just everything's kind of come up in the past few years. And I feel like it's been a kind of time of lamenting. And I hope that on the other side of this, that we can come to really celebrate the sacredness of diversity in life and spread more color and light through our art.
with a circus smile that's running wild. Butterflies and moonbeams and fairy tales, that's all she ever really talks about. Riding with the wind. When I'm sad, she comes to me with 1,000 smiles she gives to me free. It's alright, she said. Take anything you want from me. Anything. For the birthday boy, Barry Leach, y'all.
Isn't he amazing? So, several times I'm working with him in some of our Festival South shows. If you were at our Woodstock event this past year, he's just the most unassuming person. And that's one of the fun things you find out. I think some of the greatest performers of all time, they're really, really easy to work with. You hear all these horror stories about divas and all the time, and I always say it's the ones that are wannabes many times that I think are the problems. It's the ones who really have their act together that are just usually the nicest people and easiest to deal with. Once again, if you're watching this video, we are at any other time other than now, we're broadcasting every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at 7:30 p.m. through the month of June, and Mondays at noon. We'd love to have you join us, and if you have a moment, click the share button wherever it is. Take your finger, push that share button, find some friends, tell them to watch it. This video will be posted on our Facebook pages just shortly after the broadcast here tonight, and on our YouTube page within about an hour. And you can go back and access those almost anytime. I will tell you, because we're doing live music and live performances or pre-recorded performances for this, every now and then some of the licensing gets in and they may bleep out a section of something that, was okay for a live stream but not good for a recorded segment. But we would love you to share those things and tell people that we are trying to keep the arts alive even digitally at the moment. So two of my favorite people that I have known for quite a while were nice enough to join us tonight and to, as we've been doing with all of our live stream, kind of muddle through the technology to make all of this work. But Randy and Millie Swan are with us this evening. Thank you so much for being here. Whoops, we can't hear you for a minute. Let's check your volume. I see you. I'm going to get you on the phone in just a minute. We're going to have your voice here. Just stay, don't do anything. Like I said, we're getting through all this technology together. It's happened. We had this with Jay the very first night, and just things happen like this. Sometimes just the bandwidth doesn't want to cooperate. Hey there, Miss Millie. I'm putting you up near our microphone so we can hear you. You can just talk, and if you can hear me, you don't even have to hold your phone if you can hear me through it. You may have to turn your volume down just a little bit, though, on your end. We'll see how that works on the computer. We'll see how it works. This happened with Jay. I was telling him the very first night. You just never know. Technology is a wonderful thing. But for those of you who don't know, Randy Swan is one of our local anchormen. I would say he's a fixture in our community for so many reasons. And his lovely wife, I said her better half, is Millie Swan, who is at Forest General Hospital. So tell us a little bit about what quarantine life has been like for you guys.
Fortunately enough, I've been able to work from home for the last 3 months.
Hey, get the phone up to your ear. I think you're going to have to get the phone up to your ear so we can hear it.
All right.
There you are.
There we go. Yeah, it's been interesting for the last 3 months, working from home, doing Fox television and all this. So I'm sorry about the feedback and all this. Here I've been broadcasting for 50 years and have no control over what our sound is like tonight.
Well, look, I've dealt with some of the most amazing technical shows that we've done in this whole area, and I'm befuddled by some things that are going down. So, we are just making that a thing. We're making it work. Millie, now you are on the front lines, and your whole team is on the front lines of this whole COVID thing, and I've checked in with you several times because I can't imagine what it's like to be in hospital world right now. So what have you been dealing with the last little bit? And I think we probably could use a whole 4-hour episode on that, but in a nutshell.
Exactly. Well, it has been very interesting in healthcare because, of course, this has been a very fluid situation. It's something that there are so many unknowns still. So, I'm very proud of the way our healthcare community has really rallied and come together and what they've done. I can't say enough. I am not one at the bedside, but I just want to tell you that I commend all of our physicians, our nurses, our respiratory therapists, ER, ICU. I can't say enough about all the people and what they've done. So healthcare's been real interesting, but I'm very proud of the team.
Well, I will tell you that I had a little scare at the beginning of all of this. I'm somebody who deals with autoimmune issues. I've posted about that before. And discovering I had a bit of asthma as well as all of this started. I knew something was up, and as all of this started, and your mind just goes to places you just don't want to go when suddenly you're coughing. And, I never ran a fever, I never did anything. And finally, we just had Rebecca Stark Johnson on, and her husband is my doctor. And the first time I went to finally he said, like, you have to come in. And at that point they were saying, you can't come in, and it's all telemedicine and all those things. The trauma of the whole thing, of just going in, and mine turned out to be those simple things that, it's just my asthma was flaring up and I just needed something fixed there. But the trauma of the temperature taking and the swabbing and the gloves and where you could sit, and it was early on in all of this. And I mean, it's been a mental ride just for me on mine, and I consider myself very, very lucky. I still have a job. I'm still able to do stuff. I can't imagine what people are dealing with. And then, having to sort of really sacrifice your family and going home from a hospital where you were working and all this. I mean, we owe such a debt, and I was really thrilled when the whole Red Ribbon thing and the Paint the Town Red thing happened, and still have red things up on all the stuff we're doing still, because I mean, we really came together, and I think Hattiesburg has done a great job, and you were both to be commended for helping us get the word out, but also just managing teams there and keeping everybody as sane as possible, because it's been a ride. I can't imagine what y'all are dealing with.
A lot of anxiety, a lot of fear, and one way to put it is, think about this as a hospital. Our doors are always open, telling people, if you need us, if you're sick or you're ill, come to us. And all of a sudden we're saying, stay away, stay out. Now we're going the other direction again and saying, don't delay health care that you need, because it's too important to your overall well-being. So you're right. It has just been something that all of us have been navigating together, but it's really to be commended the way we've come together. I'm very proud of Hattiesburg and what we've done.
Well, I will tell you that very early on, Hattiesburg Clinic asked me to do a little shout out of, what we're doing in a stay home thing. And I said, one of the things you'll almost never hear me say is stay home. At that point, we were always going, come and buy a ticket and come to the show and come do whatever. And suddenly I'm going, please stay home. Let's all get well. And now that I'm telling you my story behind it, where I was sort of freaking out that I thought I was a goner there with all the reports. And if you watch the news, oh my gosh, it was just constant barrage, especially at the beginning of everything. So what are you looking forward to? What do you miss the most? What are you looking forward to once we move sort of past the COVID thing? I know we're dealing with lots of other issues in our society right now, and that's a whole nother episode as well. We talked about that the very first show. But as far as this, with working in healthcare, working in media as well, what are you looking forward to the most?
Well, one thing that I have missed the most is the interaction one-on-one with people, being able to see someone and talk to them. Our business has changed so much now in the media, where we have to use Skype, streaming, and Zoom and all this. Away from it, you can't really get the feel for a story because of the protection. But I miss the crowd. Believe it or not, I miss traffic. Traffic is back now, but I tell you, I did miss it for a little while. And I miss seeing people, talking to people. I miss going to football games. I'm kind of like you. I'm in that vulnerable position, too. Of course, mine is age, but also I have, a couple of medical deficiencies, too, from past medical history. So I have to be extremely careful also. But and it's a frightening thing. I've been through Katrina. I've been through Camille. This is so unusual because you don't know what to expect from this point on.
Absolutely. I mean, even in just planning of things, but it's really scary. It's like we've said, it's the unknown enemy, and you just don't know, and the policies change every day, and unfortunately we get sort of mixed messages of wear a mask, don't wear a mask, stay in, don't stay in, it's okay to go out, don't stay 6 feet, no, it should be 4 feet, let's get 10 feet, and it all changes. And I think a lot of it comes down to common sense, and I feel like folks like you on the front lines of this have been sort of preaching that, okay, let's take a breath and let's all think about what we're doing here and taking care of our neighbors and those around us. And and the one thing you can probably relate to in the media right now is the media cycles of things and what we see. And we're not getting the COVID stories constantly like we were, where it was all on our mind. And, I think it just goes away. We live in that quick, instantaneous social media, here's a post, here's a thing, and it's the greatest thing for 5 seconds, what color is the dress today kind of stuff. And then suddenly it's over. But the COVID thing is here with us for a while,
Well,
and
no,
it
and
changes.
now they're talking about a second wave, which is also kind of scary too. So
Yeah.
it's the unknown that we do not know about, and even though people are getting back to normal, going to restaurants and getting into crowds, they still need to be leery of the situation.
Yeah, just remain diligent, remain safe, and see what you can do for your fellow man as well. So the other thing that you may not know about these guys is Randy actually serves on the board of the Hattiesburg Concert Association that presents Festival South and the Meister Singers. And Millie and Forest General have been a huge sponsor, one of the first sponsors of Festival South since we started. But they have an even more important tie to Festival South, and that is their daughter, who created Artie many years ago. And Artie is our ambassador for all of our children's events. And I will tell you that, like, I have a picture up on my Facebook that I think is my favorite picture. I've said that before, of all of Festival South. And it's two children with their Festival South tattoo that they're wearing. And it's just, they're the happiest. It's the most fun when you go to these events. And it started out as, we wonder if anybody will come, and it turned into hundreds of children and doubling up performances of shows of things. And we're indebted to sort of Ivy and the whole Swan family in all the different capacities that they have done for Festival South. And it's just nice that they're good people for our community too, in positions that people get to see them and lead us. But they have a great tie to the arts and a great appreciation and visible support of the arts. Randy talks about us all the time. Forest General is supporting the things we do, and many other arts organizations do. So why are the arts important to you guys? Why is that a thing that you chose to do? It could be anything.
Well, Mike, first let me say it was fitting that you mentioned Artie because Ivy just moved back to Mississippi this week. So, yay. So she's looking forward to getting back to Festival South and being at some of those Artie events. So we're excited about that. The way I always explain the arts to people, I say, can you imagine a world without music? I personally cannot imagine if I had never heard a song. If I'd never heard anyone sing or an instrument be played. The research is out there, the difference it makes in a child's education to have the arts. So it just brings a community together, I think. It makes your community somewhere some people want to be, because I know as far as healthcare, when we recruit people to Hattiesburg, that's one of the things they want to know. What's your culture like? What are the arts like? They want to participate in those things. So for me, it's really personal about I can't imagine life without the arts, and at the same time, I see the benefit of it to a community, to make a community thrive. And it is such a recruitment tool for businesses, for professionals, because of the difference the arts make.
Well, we appreciate everything you guys do so much, and I would challenge you, as you're watching tonight, these folks support us in different ways that they can, and you can support us. There is nothing too small that you can do, even if it comes down to volunteering for things once we're all out and doing things again. Right now, we're raising money for all of our arts, and with our COVID relief that's right here, you can go to FestivalSouth.org and click on that. As we were talking earlier with Rebecca, even though things are opening up and getting back, getting into performance spaces, rehearsals are the real problem right now. So we were just working on something, imagining dance without touching somebody. Imagine, trying to try on a costume or put on makeup or wigs or things that you can't reuse, or, trying to teach a lesson and have to stay 6 feet apart and you can't really demonstrate. So many things are just not coming back, even though lots of things are opening up. And the artists that are such a great part of the Hattiesburg community, it's just a really different place that we have here, are not able to come back. And we appreciate everything you guys do. And everybody that's watching, if you have a minute, go to FestivalSouth.org and please donate anything you can. Write us, share this post with your friends all over the country. Now that we're doing this taped, you can share it wherever you want to go. Again, thank you so much for being here with us. I almost looked at the phone, which is to my right. I'm like, don't know where to look. Too much technology. Thank you so much for being here with us and for everything you do for the arts. Y'all take care.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. Tell Ivy I said hello.
I will. You'll see her soon.
Great. Everybody else, if you'll hang on, we'll be right back. And we're going straight to another great tune, Barry's Blues. We'll be right back.
This is a tune I wrote for the Vamps. It's called Barry's Blues. How about it, y'all?
And people stayed home and read books and listened and they rested and did exercises and made art and played and learned new ways of being, and stopped and listened more deeply. Someone meditated, someone prayed, someone met their shadow, and people began to think differently, and people healed. And in the absence of people who lived in ignorant ways, dangerous, meaningless, and heartless, the earth also began to heal. And when the danger ended and people found themselves, they grieved for the dead and made new choices and dreamed of new visions and created new ways of living and completely healed the earth, just as they were healed.
I want to thank Rebecca Stark Johnson, David Walker, Millie and Randy Swan, and Barry Leach for being with us this evening. I'd also like to thank all of our Festival South staff and the Hattiesburg Concert Association who make all of this possible. But mostly tonight, I'd like to thank you for watching. For those of you who've been with us from the very beginning, as you've seen all of our technical fixes right through tonight, and thank you for all of your support. We really want you to take the opportunity to share this video, tell people that this is happening, and hopefully we'll reach people that we never even dreamed of in a local concert, that people will see this from all around the world. Please take a moment, if you can, to visit FestivalSouth.org. Click on the big red button and support the artists who are in so desperate need right now and continue to be as we deal with COVID. Anything you can do would be helpful. I had to put my script here to look at Saturday, because Saturday, and what's coming up, it is Thursday, isn't it? For a moment, I was like, it's Tuesday. So Saturday at 7:30, our guest will be Marlo Dorsey of Visit Hattiesburg, James Rayelt on guitar, Jorge Gonzalez and the Festival South Orchestral Academy, including a performance of Beethoven's Coriolanus Overture, because it's Beethoven's 250th birthday this year, Teresa Sanchez of Festival South and the Impromptu Trio. She's going to be talking and performing, and Alexander Rusikovsky on cello. It's a really, really fun Saturday evening program, and we want you to be there. But most of all, between now and the next time, please really listen to someone, truly learn from them, and love everyone. Good night.